Well met, Knights of the Order. This is Muscle and Magicka, and you, my friend, just accepted a quest. It should come as no surprise that personal biases exist. In fact, personal bias is a stat that you'll find on pretty much everyone. People you run into on the street, casuals that you run dungeons with, friends, family, people you watch on YouTube, trainers who give you fitness, nutrition, and or training advice. Even myself. Yes, this does not exclude the guild master of Muscle and Magicka. For example, mages like to use magic, while on the other hand dragoons prefer polearms. I, for one, happen to recommend counting calories. Now, these biases are not necessarily inherently bad things. In fact, they can be quite beneficial. I mean, we all have different experiences, different backgrounds, different histories, strengths and weaknesses that define us and shape who we are, and that better equip us to reach and relate to different kinds of people. And in fact, you show me someone who doesn't have any personal biases, and I will show you someone who is either a synthetic life form, and by the way, synthetic life forms tend to be affected by the bias of whoever created them, or someone who's just never lived life. Someone who is extremely wishy-washy and just goes with the flow and always formulates their current opinion based on the opinions of those around them or whatever happens to be presented to them at the current time that sounds good. Where we start to run into problems, however, is when we are either completely unaware of our biases or when we allow them to take over, to blind us, to skew our approach, to carry us so far away from any semblance of objectivity or neutrality that we become incapable of seeing anything from other perspectives, from other points of view. Now, I'm quite aware of my own personal biases in this regard, and that's why I thought it would be prudent to take a moment, to take a quest or two, to step back and present to you guys my story, my background, the story which in part led to the founding of the Order of Muscle and Magicka, just so you'll get a sense of exactly where I'm coming from, what some of the foundational underlying principles and tenets of the Order of Muscle and Magicka are, and that way you can decide for yourself how many grains of salt you may or may not wish to take my advice, to take my recommendations with. In a word, I was this guy. Okay, that's actually closer to 4 words, but this was me. The man is eating magical beans. We are talking the cleanest food in all of Hyrule, and yet his physique is absolute trash. And I was the same way. I was eating broccoli, tilapia, brown rice, extra virgin olive oil, all of the staple clean foods that the Bro Magic manual tells you should eat. And I was not losing weight any faster than Magical Bean Man. And what Magical Bean Man and I both had to come to realize, or at least I hope he came to realize, and I haven't talked to the guy in like 7 years, but what we have to come to realize is that there is actually nothing magical about magical beans. Sure, you plant them in some soft soil and they'll turn into a plant that may carry you to hard to reach places one day, but that's not magic. It's basic plant biology and morphogenesis. Beans, broccoli, oats, these are good foods. You should eat these foods. You should eat lots of these foods. In fact, you should base the majority of your diet off of these foods and similar whole, minimally processed, micronutrient-dense foods. However, if you consume too many calories, I don't care what form they're in, I don't care if it's beans, Lon milk, or health potions, if you consume too many calories, you will not achieve the weight loss that you're looking for. And likewise, if you don't consume enough calories, you will not achieve the weight gain that you're looking for. Now yes, absolutely, eating foods like these will make it a lot more difficult to overconsume calories, but one of the fundamental problems with Bro Magic, and I'll get to this in a separate video, is that Bro Mages assume that eating clean and eating intuitively is all you need, and it's best for everyone, and it will make it impossible to overconsume calories. I am living proof that this is not the case. Magic Bean Man is living proof that this is not the case. Now, of course, I'm capable of self-control. I just went away for a little over a week, didn't count a single calorie or macro. I came back a pound lighter, and this is due in part to increased energy expenditure, but also due to the fact that I made smart, sensible choices. I exercised self-control. But you see, I think that part of the reason that I was able to exercise self-control when I wasn't in the past is that I've been counting calories for so long that I know my body, I know my actual intake, I know what portion sizes look like and what they mean relative to me. If anything, counting has put me more in touch with my hunger cues. A lot of people you will hear say that counting calories is unnatural and that it takes you farther away from a natural relationship with your body, but if anything, it's helped me increase my relationship with my body. It's given me more data points. It's increased my ability to analyze what's going on. I can say to myself, okay, I've eaten up to my maintenance today, I'm still hungry. Why is that? Am I bored? Am I actually dehydrated? Did I maybe make some poor food choices today that didn't fill me up? Am I just fairly lean and maybe my body's trying to put a little bit of body fat on me? it gives you a wealth of information. I think that's the biggest selling point when it comes to tracking calories, is the educational value of it. There's plenty of people out there who are doing just fine, making plenty of progress eating intuitively, and they don't need to track calories. However, could tracking calories teach them a little something? Could tracking calories help them to dial things in even a little bit more? Maybe so. And at worst, you've got a few extra data points. At worst, you have some extra information that you didn't need that you may choose not to do anything with. Now, with all of that said, I am going to go ahead and issue the exact same caveats that I always issue when it comes to tracking calories and macros. It's not for everyone. If you are someone who currently struggles with or has ever struggled with an eating disorder, I'm going to issue a blanket no. And if you want to try tracking calories and you think that you are recovered enough to do so, then you talk to your doctor, you talk to your therapist, you talk to someone who is more qualified to make that decision for you than you or I. Likewise, if you're someone like me, if you are prone to obsessive tendencies, if you like to fixate and control things, then you may want to think twice about it. Or at the very least, you may want to try it for a time and then stop. Or if you decide it's something that you like, that you want to continue with, then just keep an eye on things and make sure to schedule periods where you take a break. Schedule a day or two a week where you don't track, or schedule a week at a time where you just take a break from tracking. Anything that you can do to keep it from taking over. But for everyone else, for people who are generally healthy, who have fitness goals that they're trying to reach, that they want to take to the next level, for people who are maybe having some difficulty reaching those fitness goals with the typical standard approaches like intuitive eating, why not? Why not play the game with an experience bar? Why not be sure that you're taking in the right amount of energy each day, each week, so that you ensure that you lose weight, rather than relying on something arbitrary like food choices and hoping that the scale says something favorable the next time that you hop on. Why not ensure that you're getting adequate fuel every day, every week, to put on that weight, to put on strength, while at the same time maintaining a controlled enough surplus that you don't put on excess fat? If I'm a Dragoon, I'm going to go ahead and keep using my polearm, but I want to know exactly why I'm doing the damage that I'm doing. What does piercing damage mean? Why did I get that critical hit? If I'm a mage, I'm going to keep using my spells, but I want to know why I got that magic burst, why that particular spell was so effective in that situation. But I digress, and I start to wander into territory for the next follow-up quest, so I'm going to cut it off for here and have you guys go ahead and hand this quest in. I hope you gained some experience points from this, maybe even leveled up. If you're new to tracking calories and macros and you're not quite sure where to start, I suggest you check out the Basic Nutritional Starting Questline, which will give you some guidelines and practical recommendations. Don't forget to like the video to increase reputation for our faction. And of course, if you haven't done so and you want to continue your training in strength and wisdom through future quests, subscribe to the channel and join the Order of Muscle and Magicka. Until next time, my friends, stay vigilant, knights. You know, here's what we have to do, because I've just made myself biased by finding out who's who. Yep. So it's only fair, the one that I'm biased toward is Milky Way, right? You guys like Milky Way?
Why would you
be
biased?
Musketeers? You like Milky Way?
Milky
I'm being fair about
like them.
So, now that I have a bias towards Three Musketeers,
now you're gonna try to compensate.
I have to eat Milky Way. I have to eat Musketeers first and have Milky Way last.
So you're gonna add more
That's
bias.
right. Why
No, I'm balancing the bias.
Why do you have a bias?
Wait, everybody, this has to be a clean experience.
Where does the bias come from?
Because my boys.
The guys.
Because I'm as.
Okay, now hold on. Everybody just stop giving me input. I have to stop having auditory input. Except for when I ask for it. This is Three Musketeers.
Are we sure?
This is guys. Guys like Three Musketeers. This is Milky Way. So to be fair, since I'm going to be with this a little bit, I have to eat this first and have this last.
It's a ridiculous mindset, but you go for that.
It's completely logical.
I'm logical about it.
Go ahead.
I'm doing this for you. You realize that I'm doing this to help you, right?
Don't do anything like this for me.
I am confident you're gonna see.
I'm so confused right now that I can't even like think straight about which is which. So I'm just gonna eat one and then I'm gonna eat the other one.
Your taste buds alone.
Why are you looking?
Now cleanse the palate.
Yeah, cleanse the palate.
Anybody got a cracker? I don't think water will do it.
That's kind of what we're for. Cleanse the palate, put the
Water?
Milky Way in your mouth, and then move on and come to the true conclusion that Three Musketeers.
The dark side. You're picky. How can you deny that little one?
There we go.
I'm still trying to figure out why you buy it.
because my guys like the
So
other
it's a
one.
gender bias.
Stop
It's
the
also
promo.
a quantity bias. 3 like one and only 2 like the other one.
So you just kind of even it, or just-
And 2 didn't vote.
All right. What say you?
Twix is better than both of them. Twix is better. It doesn't even.